Welcome back, everyone. My name is Bobby, aka Lumberjack Smack, and this is another quick look. My friend and colleague Chase Koeneke is back to show me a game this time. A game that I'm a little curious about because I don't know what I'm doing. I need help.
Yeah, this is Risk of Rain 2, Bobby. I love the first game a lot.
Sure.
I played it a lot on my PlayStation Vita.
I've heard nothing but good things about the first one.
I would say nothing but good things about the first game. This game, not finished.
Very much so.
I would give them an incomplete, and they would take that. This is Hapu Games.
Okay.
And yeah, it's different. The first game is they're both roguelike games, run-based games. I'm gonna get into start a thing here. But this game is in 3D, whereas the first game is in 2D. And that makes for...
That's a big difference.
It's a big difference. It makes them feel very different.
Yeah.
I feel like they're both have merits of playing them now, but there's definitely one I like more than the other one.
Sure. Now, I've played this game a little bit on my own. You and I have played some co-op. Mm-hmm. I'm still super confused by what the hell's going on.
Well, let me explain some stuff to you then once we get in here. The co-op, you did say we did play a little bit of that. I don't think it's too bad to jump in. You make lobbies or can go into quick play. No local co-op, but it does have LAN play, so if you have two switches next to each other and you can hook up to the same network, you can play that way. And that worked fine.
This is a quick look on the Switch, by the way.
We are playing on the Switch, yes, but it's also available on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. The PC version's been out for a little while, and it's cheaper. It's $20 on Steam. It seems to be $30 on any of the consoles that I could find it on.
The Switch tax, I blame it.
Yeah, but it's also on Xbox and PS4. It's interesting. But yeah, this game is still noticeably in early access. Usually in the first game here, we'd have artifacts, these kind of mutator things that can change up the way the game is played a little bit. Coming soon here, they're just not there yet.
Do they have a roadmap or anything that you've seen?
I haven't seen a roadmap. I'm sure there is for people who are more specifically looking into this game. I don't know if this was Kickstarted or not, but they definitely have more developer stuff. I'm sure like on Steam forums and things that I'm just not checking.
Now, was there a story in the first one?
Not particularly. Like, you were going around fighting aliens and looking for a boss and killing them.
So you're not really continuing a story by any means?
Not really, no. Okay. You're killing aliens and not fighting a boss because that's not in yet.
To be continued.
Yes, to be continued. There are also 3 characters here that they haven't gotten in the game yet. But I've unlocked the rest of these characters. You only start with this commando when you start the game, and then you unlock other ones by...
The deep-sea diver-looking astronaut?
Yeah, totally. But then you unlock other characters by just playing the game, unlocking, finishing stages, or more specifically for a couple of these, doing specific things, finding these coins that you can use to unlock this guy, or taking a battery that you can use to unlock this guy.
So it looks like you're going to be getting some very different play styles.
Yes, they play super differently. Like, this commando has these dual wielding pistols and can shoot super fast and can stun enemies and dodge out of the way, whereas this engineer character is a lot slower, but it has turrets that they can put down anywhere, has mines that they can throw down, has a little bubble shield that they can be invulnerable for a bit. I like him a lot.
Now, they obviously start you with the commando.
Yes.
Do you feel that's the best starting point?
I think so, yeah. Especially for PC players, definitely.
Yeah.
For consoles, I think it's a little wonky to aim in this game.
It feels weird.
So I usually like playing as the Huntress in this because she has an auto bow where it just auto aims.
Oh, cool.
That could be really helpful for consoles, but she plays differently than other ones. I'm going to play as the Artificer because I think he's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And we'll just jump into a game here.
It does feel, and I don't know what your thoughts are here, it feels like this is shoehorned a little bit on console right now.
Yeah. It might just be like trying to get onto the Switch because that's a popular platform. Anyway, so these are roguelike games. These are run-based games. And if you've played something like Spelunky or Bind of Isaac, this game should be pretty familiar to what you're doing. I think it's a nice in-between of those games in that it's got this kind of soft timer like Spelunky does. You can see up in the upper right corner we have 30 seconds going and it just keeps counting up. And the difficulty there is slowly continuing to go up as well. So every second kind of counts in this game. but you also need to spend some time killing enemies because that's how you get money, and money allows you to buy power-ups, which is more like the Binding of Isaac part, which lets you make every run feel different and interesting.
This character's pretty cool.
He's really cool. He's got, like, every different move he has is a different attack. If you like Overwatch, he's kind of got this Mei ice wall that he can throw up. He also has a flamethrower that he can bring out that's kind of short range. But whereas a lot of these characters have offensive and defensive options, pretty much everything he has is offensive.
Now, would you consider him to be more of a glass cannon? Is he a little bit weaker than the other
Yeah,
ones?
he doesn't come with as much HP. In fact, I'm getting kind of torn up here by a lot of these enemies. We're just going to run.
Okay.
Because you're not trying to defeat all the enemies in the level. You are just trying to defeat enemies until you can buy stuff, or you're looking for a teleporter. And this teleporter you can see right up there we're going to go to. Because the teleporter gets you to a boss fight and also allows you to leave for the next level.
Now, I should make note, this is the easiest teleporter I've ever seen in this game.
Yeah, I think that's part of the problem with the switch to 3D, is that it's a lot harder to find some of these things. So that's our big boss up there.
That's a big jellyfish.
Yep, he is. He actually is from the first game.
Okay.
A lot of this stuff is just from the first game. But it's different because it's in 3D now.
You got a lot of shit going on here.
I do. This is pretty intense.
And this is easy?
This is on the easiest difficulty. This game is hard. I only play on the easiest difficulty because it is just really that difficult.
Now, what I know about you, you don't necessarily like hard games, but you like a challenge.
Right, and this game is more than just a challenge. It's tough.
Well, I think that, look, I'm not trying to shit on anything, but
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong here. My biggest complaint is that this game is kind of twitchy at times on what you need to be doing.
It can be. In fact, yeah, we're probably gonna die.
Okay.
This isn't going well for me.
But I don't think that the game's mechanics are complementary to what you have to be doing right now. I think the game gets in the way of itself, controlling wise.
I don't know how to respond to that exactly. I think part of it is that this game is trying so much to be like the first game, which is a very fantastic game. It's just trying to bring all of that into 3D, and sometimes that works better than other times. I think aiming is a lot more difficult here. Finding things like the teleporters is a lot more difficult here. But you do have, I would say you have more space to run away from stuff.
Sure.
And the first game being in 2D, it's harder to run away.
I think it's exponentially better when it's docked. I think playing this game handheld is rather difficult.
Yeah, I don't love playing with Joy-Cons. I think this is a Pro Controller. I think a Pro Controller is kind of a must for a game.
Now, one thing that did help me out, I have one of those grips you can put on the Switch when it's out of the dock.
Yeah.
That gives you a bit more of like the traditional controller grips on the sides, and that did help me out a little bit. But I think just the response from the Joy-Con shoulder buttons and the triggers itself felt a little strange. It's also weird for me to have non-analog versions of those, like where it's just more of a button that executes, especially with your shoulder buttons. It felt a little strange pulling stuff off. You're doing all right. I mean, you said you were going to die, Chase. Huh?
So I would say the engineer is my guy. Like, that's my main, and I feel more comfortable with him.
Was the engineer in the first game?
Yes.
Okay.
We might put this guy. Yeah, he's dead. So we still have to, when you kill a boss, you get a free item here. So I get this red whip that lets me move faster outside of combat. Again, like, you get these items and it makes you feel so different than every other run. So now I can run a little bit faster. I've just got this item that lets me do critical hits more often. So I'm going to be hitting even harder, and that's cool. But I'm waiting for this, and now it's just done, where I can go into this teleporter. I'm going to take this other portal, though, because it happens randomly, and is something that you should probably see. That's just a little different.
Okay.
It doesn't happen.
So you're not going to go through the teleporter?
No, it's basically going to do the same thing. Is it not going to let me go through? Yeah, okay. So this is something that randomly shows up. It doesn't happen a lot, but this is how you unlock this character that I'm playing as right now. You find this blue portal. Sometimes you can use a coin. You see in the upper left there, I've got 7 of that purple currency.
Yeah.
Those are lunar coins that sometimes just drop from enemies.
Okay.
Those allow you to unlock those portals so you can get to this area. And then there's this big guy here who looks like somebody you can fight, but he's not having it. But usually this character that I'm playing as is sitting right up here, and he's frozen. You spend 10 of your coins, and then you can unlock him as a playable character.
So if you don't have the coins when you get in here, there's nothing you can do, right?
Right. Or, well, sometimes they'll just show up randomly. That portal will show up randomly like it did for me just now, and I can trade in items to get potentially better items. This missile launcher thing is cool, but not cool enough to sacrifice 3 of my items.
So it's showing you what you're getting.
Yeah, and
No
I don't
quantity.
even have
Okay.
5 items to do that. So I'm just going to run back. But this area is cool.
Now, will this portal close out when you leave it?
Yeah, and it'll just send me to the next area. Like I went through the teleporter in the first level. So, it has a handful of different areas that you go into, and basically the loop is the same. You're just killing enemies, unlocking boxes, and going through those teleporters. So now I've got that bigger dude to deal with.
And you're in this is a whole new world.
Yeah, whole new world, this kind of desert area.
But your items have stayed with you.
All my stuff has stayed with me throughout that stuff.
And that will stay, because this is still considered one run.
Yes, yeah. This is a roguelike, so if I die, I lose all that stuff, but at the moment, I'm hanging on to it. So this guy's not super fun to fight. Although there is an item that lets you get this guy as like a companion.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Now, whenever you get through this run, you don't get to choose, like, hey, start on this world, right?
Right.
It's always going to be that first spot we went to.
There's a couple of different places that they can start you at, but mostly, yeah. Like, there are starting areas, and then there are areas you go to after that.
Now, I like this character that you're playing as a whole lot more than the Commando.
Yeah, I think the Commando's good for certain things. Everybody seems like they've got a place. The Artificer, I think, is not as good at fighting aerial enemies. He does have this big lightning orb that he can throw,
Sure.
and that will if it's next to enemies like that, you can see he kind of arcs to those things.
Yeah.
But he has these 4 fire bolts that he can throw that recharge, and if you miss with those 4, you're kind of just sitting and waiting for a bit.
Now, I'm looking at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. It looks like your abilities are on some sort of, like, cooldown.
Lots of cooldowns. Yeah.
Okay. Now, is there anything that you can do to improve that, slow it down, speed it up?
Some things, yeah. There's items that'll let you attack faster. There's items that give you extra charges for things. There's one item called the Bandolier that if you kill an enemy, it has a chance to drop an item that just refills all of your cooldowns instantly.
Oh, nice.
That's a pretty good item, especially for this character whose every move is on a cooldown of some sort. Like the Commando doesn't have a cooldown for his regular guns.
Right.
You can just keep shooting your dual-wielding pistols all the time. So you always have an option. This guy, you kind of need to balance a little bit more. I know you've been playing a lot of Control, so
yeah.
This character's the Control character.
Yeah, no, that's like Warlocks from Destiny, Control. I can see a little bit of all those things there with it.
All right, so basically we're just kind of wasting time here because we're not looking for the teleport.
You're getting into the
finding
final stages of easy.
Yeah, I'm about to get to medium, and I'll say this game just doesn't play around. I usually play on the easy difficulty because it really just is that difficult. These red boxes usually have more offensive capabilities to them. That one's not really that. Every time I level up, it drops a little shield, or not a shield barrier, but it drops a little thing where I heal faster and shoot faster. That's really good. These teddy bears,
yeah,
they give you a chance to just block damage outright.
And that's constantly with you, correct?
That's constantly with me, and that stacks. So if I find more teddy bears, I'm just blocking. I have a better chance to block even more things. So everything can stack. I've got like a goat foot thing as one of my items now that lets me run faster. If I find more of those goat's feet, I'm running even faster.
And you're finding these by opening up the chest.
Yeah. And you open the chest by killing enemies. So there's a loop here, but I have to constantly be looking at that time in the top right to know, it's getting harder, I need to stop messing around and find that teleporter.
Is there anything outside of just visibly seeing the teleporter that gives you an indication of where it's at?
Not really. They say like, oh, you should be looking for the different. You should be looking for like the little red red particles that are coming off it that maybe you can see a little bit in the distance, but no, not really.
Okay.
You're just kind of running around. Though I will say the teleporter seems to spawn in only a few distinct locations per map. So
Okay.
you can kind of just check all the usual suspects. There's a war banner that drops every time I level up. So now I would heal faster in here and can fire a little bit faster.
Does your levels reset in each new world?
No. In each run they do. But any excess money I collect, I have $51 right now. If I finish this level, that $51 gets converted to experience. And then every level you go up gives you a little bit extra damage on your attacks and some things like that. So there's some nice balance and risk and reward thing here. But man,
Is there a nice balance for risking the rain? I'll just put a pencil and come back to it.
Alright, I think the portal's going to be up here.
So you're just killing, collecting, progressing.
Yes, absolutely. Now I can run faster out of combat. Here's our teleporter. Alright, we're just going to start this because I've already wasted enough time. Okay, this boss is actually a bunch of these beetle.
Okay. Kind of a hive boss.
Yeah, they're not too bad. Actually, my character's probably really good at fighting them because I can put up these walls. I
little
can,
crowd control.
Everybody's on the ground. Yeah, this is probably the best thing I can hope for.
And this is all random.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think there are certain bosses that only show up in certain. Oh, that's actually not good. There are certain bosses that show up in certain maps, but yeah, that's kind of it.
So that gives you a rundown of all the stuff you collected, what you did, and then you're back out here at the beginning.
Yeah, I don't need to play through a full thing, but let me show you just a different character to give you a different idea. We'll also play on the rainstorm difficulty, the quote unquote normal difficulty.
Okay.
So I'll die very quickly.
Sure.
But that'll get us through quick. I'd really, if we have time, I'd really like to show you the first game just as like showing you a little bit of a difference in how these games play. So we'll run around now with the Huntress. The Huntress can shoot while she's sprinting, which is nice. And she's got a few different style moves here. The problem is I can't shoot unless that blue, you see those 4 blue lines that circle around the enemy. I have to wait for that because she locks onto things before she shoots. So I can't just shoot randomly. Gotta wait there. Now I'm locked on.
But she seems to be making short work of things.
Yeah, those arrows are pretty slow but powerful.
What's her L and R buttons do?
She's got a teleport,
Okay.
that just rushes forward, and then once I see an enemy, I'll show you the R. She's also got this glaive that she can throw on the left trigger. If there's more than one enemy, it'll bounce between them.
Nice.
And that's pretty cool. Bounce. Yep. And you attack up. This is great. My attack speed, so now I can just shoot these arrows even faster. And if you can find, I've one time found like 7 of those in a run,
Oh my God.
and I was just shooting so fast, and it was awesome. Like that is the cool thing about this game. It gives you that Binding of Isaac. Sometimes you just become a god.
Sure. I mean, I think that it's all about luck on these games too.
Yeah, a little bit, and that's part of the fun. Okay, I'll show you her. She jumps up in the air and then she does this big rain of arrows.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, it does a lot of damage and it slows enemies that are in the rain.
And it's got a 10-second cooldown,
Yeah,
which doesn't sound like a lot, but in a game like this,
it can be.
It can be.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, there are some items that you can find that will make those cooldowns shorter. So you're just running around. Sometimes, so the cool thing about this game, another cool thing about this game is that while the levels are set,
yeah.
there are things that are different. Sometimes this bridge isn't here, so you can't get to this side.
Interesting.
And then sometimes there are doors that are locked or unlocked based on the run that you're on. It can be.
Now, do you have any control over how it auto aims, or is it you just there to pull the trigger?
It's kind of whichever thing is closest to your reticle, and closest proximity to your character. It's a little random, but yeah, there's some ways you can kind of influence it.
Cool.
So we'll just run around, look for a teleporter, probably get killed by the boss because, again, it's just really difficult. Oh, hey, the teleport's up here. I'll also show off this thing. These are also in the first game. You can sacrifice some HP that regenerates, but it gives you some money by doing that. So I'm going to wait a little bit to get my health back before we fight this boss, because that boss is going to mess me up.
Now, you mentioned Binding of Isaac a couple times.
Yeah.
You said Spelunky. I see the comparisons for sure. I think this does have its own identity in a certain degree.
Yeah.
$30. Here's a tough question.
Yeah.
$30 right now for this game is not finished. I think Binding of Isaac is a little bit less than that on the Switch currently.
Maybe. Like that game also is not cheap.
Here's the kill your darlings question.
Yeah.
Is this if you're looking for a game to balance out that's kind of a run-based game, is this the one to pick up right now?
I would say no. I like this game. The more I play it, the more I'm enjoying it. But I think the first game is more fun than this one. And the first game also on Switch. So if you haven't played the first one and kind of like what you see here, I'd say maybe try the first one instead.
Okay. No, that's fair. And I mean, that's the whole point of these quick looks, right? We want to inform you, the listener, on our personal take on what these games are, show you a little bit about it so you can make your own conclusions on it. But ultimately, like, we want you to be able to identify, is this really worth the money right now? And there's a ton of games. There's never been more games out, ever.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. This guy sucks. This guy's...
The Stone Titan.
Yeah, he's gonna...
You're doing some pretty good damage there.
I'm doing okay. I might be able to...
You're
Oh, no,
finessing.
no. He popped me up in the air and then hit me
he's
with
a little
big
cheesy
laser beam.
there, right?
Yeah, that sucks.
Now, health does regenerate slowly.
Health regenerates slowly. You can find lots of items that will get your health back up faster. Man, I don't have any of those items and I'm getting kind of crushed. This is probably it for me.
Level 3. Does the enemies have levels?
Like not named levels, but yeah, you'll see that enemies are definitely taking the same kind of enemy is now taking more damage and doing more damage as you progress.
I think you're doing pretty damn good.
Okay, here's one of these lunar coins. I'm gonna catch it before I die, hopefully. So
That carries over.
That carries over. That's one of the few things that carries over. Okay, I got him, but I'm still not getting back.
Nice job.
I've leveled up twice here, so I've got 2 banners.
No, nice.
Alright, I actually... Okay. And now I can move on. But he dropped an item. Let's see what that is. Boosts health regeneration. That's great. I need that.
That would help out, right?
Definitely. And I unlocked another level. What's up here? Yeah, like this game's cool. There's something to it.
It's got a good loop. I can't argue the loop. I think that for me, I struggle with... I don't want it to hold my hand, per se, but I wouldn't mind a little bit more direction.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind an item. So actually in Spelunky, there's an item, a compass, that just lets you see where the ending point is, the cave exit.
Right.
I would love if there was an item like that in this game. Or even if a character had that as one of their like passive abilities or something. That would be really cool, just to highlight all items, including the ending. That would be really handy. Because yeah, in 3D, sometimes I've had runs just end, not on this level, because I think this level's pretty easy to find, the teleporter, because it can only be in so many places. But there's one specific level I think is just, it can just hide. And I don't know where it is, and I've had runs just end because I couldn't find it, and the timer just kept going up, and it kept getting harder, and, well, that's it. I guess I'm dead. And that sucks.
I think the controls are a little off. I think that you don't get to see... Like, when you pick up these items, like, a lot of this stuff is happening at a pace where there's a lot of shit going on.
Yeah.
And it's like, so that says chance to stun on him. I'm able to see that, but if there was multiple enemies around me, it's hard for me to know exactly what I'm getting.
Yeah, you'll get to an Isaac kind of point by playing the game a decent amount where you'll just go, oh, I know the silhouette of that thing. I know what the sticky bombs look like.
Right.
So I just know what I'm looking for if I want to get sticky bombs. I know what the healing seed kind of looks like. So that stuff's helpful.
Excuse me.
You're fine.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
This helps out a lot. Like, I was pretty confused. I do feel like I have a better understanding of it.
Yeah, like, this game has no, again, being in early access, no tutorial. It's...
Or bosses.
Well, it has bosses, it's just no final boss.
Right.
These things also were in the first game. Spending money has a chance to get something. I didn't get anything. Now I can, if I get another $1, I can try it again. I usually don't use them because they're just so luck-based.
It's a bad gamble.
Yeah. I didn't get anything again. All right, I'm leaving. All right, we'll find a teleporter. We'll die to that boss. But yeah, I mean, I think I like roguelike games a lot. I think I love the first game. This one's fine. It still has, it's in early access. They're still adding things, adding characters. So it could get a lot better.
Right.
But from a control standpoint, it could be better, and it's just not. It's tough. This guy sucks because he, if you do enough damage to him, he has a thing that just regenerates himself. He sucks in all the enemies around him and takes their health. And he also tries to suck you in as well.
Well, spiders suck anyway.
Yeah, this guy's.
I mean, they really ramp it up too.
Yeah, and good.
Wow.
Well, that's Risk of Rain 2. Like I said, PC, Switch, PS4, Xbox One.
20 or 30 bucks?
$20 on PC, $30 on everything else.
Fans of Binding of Isaac?
Fans of Binding of Isaac should probably stick with Binding of Isaac, or maybe play the first game.
Yeah.
Do you have time for me to show you the first game?
Sure.
All right. We're going to take this down really quickly, and then come back up with the first game.
Okay.
Okay, Bobby. This is Risk of Rain 1.
This looks a lot different.
Yeah, a little bit different. But I am playing as the Engineer, which is a class that you can get from the first game. He plays similarly, or from the second game, and he plays similarly to the way he does in the second game as well.
Sure.
I like this game a lot better. It just feels a little bit better to me. It looks a little bit better to me with the pixel-based stuff. It's cool. I haven't played this in a long time, so I'll probably die pretty quickly. But
it's a noticeably slower.
Yes, it definitely feels a little bit slower, but you're also kind of traversing these smaller levels faster, so it
right.
kind of evens out a little bit. But yeah, you'll see a lot of these items are very similar. Like those are those double damage classes that I found. Hey, I found the teleporter.
Wow.
Way easier to find teleporters.
It is very
in this
clear what it is. I mean, I think it stands out a bit more. Wow. Oh, hey, look, it's that stone golem.
Yeah, it's a lot of very similar stuff. It's interesting.
Do you find this game harder?
It can be, yeah. It can be a lot more difficult, but I think it's easier from the standpoint of I'm just cheating the process with my engineering turrets. Being in 2D, I think it can be a little. And I found the same item that gives me the health regeneration and armor. Yeah, being in 2D, I think it can be a little more difficult to get out of the way of enemies' attacks.
Sure.
But overall, I think it's just a tighter, more fun feeling.
Do you think that? I mean, I think if I would have started here, I would have had a better understanding.
Probably, yeah.
The game.
But this is the whole game, so we want to show off the new stuff.
No. I'm saying like for me, like.
Oh, just as like, yeah, you'd understand the second game a lot better if you played the first one.
Yeah, because that's like
these,
I go into it like, what the hell is happening?
Because that's absolutely what they were trying to do. They were just trying to convert the second game, convert this first game into 3D for the second game.
Right.
And I think it works to an extent. It doesn't work. So we don't need to play too much of this.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to get a good look at it.
Yeah, let's just finish off these three and we'll see another area.
All right.
So this area I don't believe is in the second game, but they've converted a lot of stuff into that second one. So
Sure.
That's Risk of Ring 1. I like this game better than Risk of Ring 2.
I think that I could see that being the case here. It definitely seems like it's a bit more palatable than the other one.
Yeah. I mean, that being said, I'm probably still going to play both of these games. I think the second game is still interesting enough, and they are still adding things to it that I'm interested to see where they go from here. And I'm a fan of this developer. I'm a fan of these games. And even though the second game isn't quite there yet, in my opinion, it still has some promise.
Sure. Cool, man. Well, I appreciate you showing me these.
Yeah.
If you guys are enjoying these quick looks and something you like, there's a few things that we do here. I run Lumberjack Smack as a YouTube channel. You can subscribe to that if you'd like to. Any like that you can give or feedback would be super helpful on what you enjoy from these videos, what you see more of. If you like what we're saying about the games, seeing a little bit more in depth about it, every week we record a podcast called The Casual Hour, and we do all kinds of crazy things from covering the news to telling you the games that we have been playing, but then we do some stuff where we do a deep dive. Most recently, we did a whole segment on Bungie and the history of that company. We are accompanied by the lesser of the three. His name's Johnny. He's not here with us today for this quick look, but a lot of video game based content, from news to what's coming and all that fun stuff. But for these quick looks, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's also on the webpage. We got a link to it also in the show notes of the podcast. Any support you can give would be very much appreciated, and thank you so much for tuning in. Chase, as always, appreciate you bringing this game by. Thank you for helping me understand Risk of Rain a little bit better than I once did.
Definitely.